been a little while since I sat down here, probably about 6 months and change. And the reason for that is that this year has been weirdly busy. 2019 started off with a bang. I went to Edmonton, I went to Vegas, I went to California. I've had shoots all across North America. I've been editing nonstop. Usually, from January through roughly March, it's pretty slow. And I plan to use that time to create some new content, but I got really busy, and when the clients come knocking, you gotta kind of take the work and go with it. It made me think about those slow times, those kind of tough periods where you might not have any clients calling, or when you're starting out as a filmmaker, your business hasn't quite taken off yet and you are not making any money, and how stressful that can be to not generate any revenue. You might have to take up a part-time job or work somewhere else for a little while, and really when you want to create a business, it's tough to do that and take on another job. You want to focus on your business full time. So here's something I started doing about a year ago to start generating some extra passive income. Now, this hasn't become like quit your job money or anything yet, but it is extra revenue that I'm generating pretty consistently, and that's creating stock footage. I know when you think stock footage, you think of like smiley morons and bad actors in a boardroom writing on a whiteboard or whatever this is, but that's not the case. Lots of editors and producers and production companies need stock footage to fill holes in their edits. They can be commercials, corporate videos, even feature films and television series buy stock footage all the time. Sit through the credits of almost any movie, and at some point you will see Shutterstock or Pond5 or one of the major stock agencies attributed in the credits because some asset in that 90-minute film was a stock asset, whether it was a photo, a video, whatever the case may be. So there's a huge need for footage that you can start providing right now. So let's take a look at a few shots I have in my stock portfolio that have made me money over the past year. Everything you just saw has generated me some revenue, and now about a year into it, I'm consistently making about $300 to $400 US a month. Like I said, it's not quit your job money, but it is extra cash that can help you go towards expenses, go towards your savings, fill up those slow periods when the clients aren't calling, or when you're starting out your business, just start producing stock footage. And what's cool about it is you don't need the highest quality camera or gear to produce stock footage. You can get away with producing stock on your phone. If your phone shoots HD or 4K, as long as you can competently frame up a shot and make it look professional and intentional, that could be a viable stock footage clip. So how much can you get paid? That really comes down to the end user. Whoever's buying the footage will have a couple choices they need to make. If you can produce something in 4K, that will be an option that the agencies will provide. 4K footage for a standard license tends to go for about $200 US a clip. Then the agency takes their cut, which is about half to 60%, leaving you with the extra 40 or 50%. Now, the reason they take half the sale is that they're providing the platform in which to sell the footage. And it kind of makes sense because they need a lot of infrastructure to house all this media that can be downloaded instantaneously. So on a single 4K clip, you can generate between 80 and $100 US per sale. Now, the buyer will also have the option to buy a lower res version. Say 1080p is usually about $80, and you can go even lower than that. So if they're producing something small for like a little quick Instagram ad, you might make a few bucks for a clip, but it really depends on what they're using it for. And if they're buying an extended license for something like a feature film or a major national broadcast campaign, the rates jump up even higher. Some people have actually generated like $400 to $500 off of a single clip because, say, a feature film bought it. And that feature film is going to be distributed and purchased and paid for by other end users. So therefore, because your clip is being repackaged and technically resold, the clip goes for a much higher rate, and you can generate a lot of revenue off selling clips like that. Now, you have no control when you put stuff on a stock agency who's gonna buy it. So some clips I've sold, I've made like $4 on, and some of them I've made $150 on. And these are just emails I get every couple days, sometimes multiple days in a row, that says, hey, you got money. And it's pretty solid to get that email and you look at it, you're like, I just made $150 doing nothing. On a clip I shot a year ago, I sold it and just made $150. It's a really cool feeling. So let's take a look at a couple clips I've sold over the past year and how much money it has generated me. So in June of 2018, I went out to the east coast of Canada to Halifax and Prince Edward Island. We flew out there, rented a car, stayed in Halifax for a couple days, drove to Prince Edward Island. I took my drone and my A7S and a small gimbal. Then on the way back to Halifax to catch our flight from Prince Edward Island, we drove by this big welcome to Nova Scotia sign. And I was like, I'm gonna pop my camera up on the gimbal and just grab like a little back and forth shot. Well, I've sold this clip twice now in the past year, once for $85 and once for about $30. So this has made me like $115 and I can keep reselling it over and over and over again. I assume that like a tourism board bought it. And then I went to Iceland in October of 2018. And at one point we stopped at the southern coast in Vik on the black sand beach. And we walked out to like the crashed plane, but there were tons of tourists around. And so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna pop my drone up and just like get some of these waves, because the waves looked super cool, just crashing in on the volcanic black rock sand kind of beach. I got this top down view, and I've sold this clip now 3 separate times for a grand total of about $120 as well. I think I've sold it once for $65 and then twice for another 20 to 30. And so this clip right here, this drone clip that I picked up on my vacation, has generated me well over $100, and it can keep generating me revenue in the future. So technically, I've monetized my vacations, and that's really cool because vacation costs money, but you go out and you pick up some footage, and now you can start generating long-term repetitive income off of a trip that you took for fun. Because let's be honest, we're filmmakers. We're gonna bring our cameras with us everywhere. We're gonna bring our drones everywhere. You might as well try to make money off your trips. And the truth is, when you're shooting this kind of footage, it doesn't matter if it's something very difficult to get or very simple to get. If it's a 4K shot with a standard license, it's gonna go for $200. So that means if it was shot on a $90,000 RE Alexa or your cell phone, it's gonna be worth the same amount on the website to an end buyer, because all they're looking for is good content. And that is key, good quality content. You can produce good quality content with your phone, but it's not just commercials that buy this kind of content. Like I said before, you got feature films, you got television series, you got news, you got documentaries. They all need content and they all need footage. I've always said, imagine you're working on a credit card commercial and your client wants to show the really cool travel rewards that you can earn with this credit card. They want to show somebody scuba diving and they want to show somebody climbing a mountain. Now, to get an underwater cinematographer and a scuba team and a safety team and underwater housing for a camera and an actor and a boat, you're looking at potentially tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars for that single shot. And then if you want to go show somebody climbing a mountain, doing like rock climbing on a cliff face, then you're looking at drones, you're looking at more safety and insurance. You're looking at a camera person potentially hanging from a rope, shooting somebody climbing up. There's tons of liability there, and it's really difficult and expensive to get. But if you don't need a specific actor or talent doing this kind of stuff, it's gonna be much more affordable and practical to go online and find a clip that suits your needs and purchase a license for it. Even if it ends up being a couple $1,000, you're likely saving $100,000 on travel and accommodations and insurance and safety teams, and just the amount of money that goes into getting some sort of specialty shot is pretty insurmountable. But it doesn't all need to be specialty content. I'm gonna show you now, technically my most profitable clip. I've sold this clip twice, and those 2 sales have netted me more money than any other single clip has, and it is this. That is my partner's hands juicing a lemon. I've made $150 off this single clip in the past year. I just happened to have my camera in my hand, she was juicing a lemon, and the light looked nice, so I was like, I'm just gonna pick this up. That was it. There was no lighting, no setup, no actors, no producer, no client. I just picked up a shot of her juicing a lemon, and it has become my most profitable clip, which I think is absolutely hilarious. So how do you put this footage out there? I always thought, up until about a year ago, that stock footage agencies actually produced all the content that was on their site. I thought that they had teams internally that shot this stuff and that was it, but that's not the case. It's almost all user generated. So you can create an account on Pond 5 and Adobe Stock and Shutterstock and start uploading footage that you shot to their website. So what I stumbled upon was a company called Black Box Global based out of Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. And essentially they're an aggregator where you can upload your footage to their FTP and they will distribute it to the 5 different agencies. So you only need to enter your metadata once, and they've automated it so it'll send to all the different agencies with their respective specifications. Now, Black Box does take a cut of any net sales. So, like I said earlier, if you sell a 4K clip for $200, the agency will take $100, you'll take $100, and Black Box will take $15 out of your 100. They take 15% of the net sale because they gotta, keep the revenue coming too, which for the amount of time they save, I think is totally worth it. They actually have a referral program too, so if you sign up using the link in my description, I'll actually get a 1% kickback from them for every sale you make. Doesn't come out of your income, comes purely out of Black Box's, so do that, set it up. Hook me up with a couple pennies for every shot you sell. So anyway, this was a big roundabout way to say there's ways of generating revenue for your production company or for you as a freelancer, as a camera person, as a director that doesn't involve clients. And this can be used during slow periods. It can be used when you're starting up your business as a way to start generating little bits of revenue to help ease your life expenses. Not only that, they live forever. There are people who are making a full-time living just with their stock footage sales. They're making thousands of dollars per month, but they've put in the time. It's taken them a long time and a lot of effort to actually create that amount of footage that it is netting them a profit every single month. I've been at it for about a year and I'm making about $300 to $400 a month, which is pretty solid extra cash income. That's a couple $1,000 extra per year, which is more than your average person can get in a raise. Find ways to monetize your vacations, monetize your daily life. If you produce 10 clips a day, by the end of the year, you're gonna have thousands of clips that could generate you revenue long term. And you don't even have to necessarily go out and produce content. You can mine your old hard drives, look for footage you shot on your old vacations, or just while testing out your new camera or lenses. That stuff could be viable content for stock footage. So get into your hard drives, find that old stuff that's just collecting dust, and start making money off of it. But remember that this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This takes time. It takes sometimes a couple years before you start generating consistent revenue. But once you do, and once you build up that portfolio of hundreds to thousands of clips, you'll see consistent income every month into your bank account. So if you feel like you learned something today, make sure you hit the subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, do all the things YouTubers tell you to do at the end of every video, but make sure you check back regularly because I'm gonna start rolling out some pretty cool content soon. It's the stuff I wanted to do at the beginning of the year, but I just got too busy to actually do. I finally followed through and started pulling the trigger and producing some of this content, so you're gonna start seeing it roll out pretty soon. I'm pretty excited about it, and it's all gonna be about filmmakers and creatives and how to take your creative passion and turn it into a money-making business. So with that being said, here are a few more stock footage clips and the amount of money I have made off of them.